Yeah, so this is not your standard pulled pork plain recipe because we decided, first of all, we have a beautiful cut of Iberico pork. Cabecero, I think it's called. Don't know if the pronunciation is correct, so don't kill me for that one. Or it's called Copa or Copa Cola in Colo in Italian.
Has many
but
names. Yeah.
It's the collar of, so basically the neck that connects with the ribs. But you see here how the Iberico meat is much darker than regular pork meat. It's a fantastic cut.
It looks like beef, actually, the color.
It does.
Yeah.
And this is actually Black Iberico from Spain. Beautiful cut, not very big, 1.8 kilos about. And we are going to do this as a mashup recipe because we are taking inspiration from our tacos al pastor, from some of our Peruvian recipes, a little bit of Asian influence, and then we are making a mashup pulled pork because I think it's gonna be good. So, first up, we are going to make an injection marinade where we are going in with some orange. We're not gonna go in with pineapple though, but we are doing the orange. I will also add a little bit of water just for the salt to dissolve in. So I'll say 2 oranges because I might add more orange juice to the external marinade, but the meat can only absorb so much injection, so. But I need enough liquid for the salt to dissolve.
That's plenty enough also for the salt, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Let's do a couple of limes. Shall we stick with the same analogy? 2 oranges, 2 limes?
Yes.
Then I'm actually using my same calculation as when we're making sausages. Link down below how to make that. So it's 2% of the meat weight in salt, and then dial it down a tad from that. So because you can always.
So like 12 grams?
No, 30. 30.
30? No, you said 2%. Yeah.
2%. So this.
I think you can dissolve the 30 grams.
I think so.
We can try.
At least I'm gonna give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna add some water.
Yes.
So 30 grams of salt, 2%, dial it down a tad, as I said. And this is exactly the same we did with the sausages, which turned out perfectly. So let's mix this up. It will dissolve pretty fast here.
I can smell the oranges and the lime all the way
Yeah.
here.
No, but remember the tacos al pastor, how well that turned out.
Oh, it was fantastic. And the party we had after, everybody
That was excellent.
so happy.
That was very good.
Yeah.
And today I'm gonna try my new tool.
Yay!
Yay, because I got tired. Actually, let me show you. Because I have these injectors, these small ones. They're useless because then you have to suck and suck and suck. So I decided to buy this when we were in Miami, actually.
Yeah, I remember that beautiful shop, was it there? In Boca or what?
I think it was, yes.
Oh.
Not entirely dissolved the salt. I can.
Yeah, the rest of it, we put it in the external.
No, exactly. It doesn't really matter. As long as we get most of it in, the rest, I'm not going to let that go. That will go into our external liquid. So, in with the.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see how that works.
Shake it up a little bit now because of the salt. So, here we are with our beautiful chunk of meat. So now I'm curious to see how this is going to work. Let me first get some pumping action going here. That seems pretty nice.
Is it going smoothly?
I think so. I see the meat is growing on me. And then we're just going to inject it all around, nice and puffed up with our liquid. I'm going to put this in a vacuum sealer bag because that's where it's going to get the rest of the marinade. So in she goes, all the way down in a big one here. I'm going to leave that here on the side, get this out of the way, and then we're going to start preparing our second marinade. So for our second marinade, we are going to go in with some cilantro. That's one of the first things that goes in. So a good large bunch of cilantro. You don't need to worry so much about the stems up on this end, but take off the bottom ones down here because they become thick and hard. So this, we give a very fine chop.
That's gonna give an amazing taste.
We know that. I mean, it's one of our favorite things. It's gonna be nice, but you want to give this a really fine chop. You could actually put it in a processor and make it into a paste, but I prefer the manual way here. I think that's about fine. Then we take our bowl here for mixing, take all of our cilantro, and then to our bowl we're gonna add a beer. This is also going to be our braising liquid tomorrow when this is marinated overnight. I might add an extra beer tomorrow that we will see in the Dutch oven, but
yeah, most probably we will need in.
But we will see that. But for the marination in the bag, one beer is more than enough because it will cover nicely the meat. Then you want a splash of soy sauce for a bit of umami. How much? I don't know, like 2 tablespoons?
Couple, yeah.
2 tablespoons, something like that. Don't overdo it, but it gives a nice background umami to this. And then, again, we're using our sausage analogy in terms of weight of spices. Freshly cracked Sichuan peppercorn, 0.25%, which in this case is 4.4 grams. Garlic powder, same story, 4.4 grams. And then we have cumin, 4.4 grams, so it's the same all the way through. And then the last thing that also came out of that is achiote paste. You remember that we were using?
That's a pepper?
Well, it's annatto seeds. I don't know if it's a pepper or it's called annatto seeds. That gives the red color, and then it's mixed with some garlic, some other spices, but it gives a nice flavor to things, so we're going to break that up a little bit. It breaks up easy once you get it into the liquid. So then we give this a good mix till we have an even mixture, and we dissolved all the achiote paste. And when this is nice and dissolved, we're going to add in the rest of our injection liquid here.
With the salt?
With the salt, because that you don't want to leave out of here. And then we take our nice bag, and we pour all of this in carefully because you don't want to spill too much. It will make a mess though. And then we are gonna close this up like this, hold it up, give it a good massage around so everything is nice and covered. And then all that's left to do for me, I'm gonna vacuum this and leave it in the fridge overnight, the day after. And here is our little bag of goodness with our braising liquid marinated for almost 24 hours, so that's going to be very flavorful. Let's see if we can get this out of here without making a ginormous mess. Have some paper towel here because I want to pat it dry so that we can give it a bit of a sear. Ooh, that smells good in that bag. It already smells good. This is going to be good. Just give this a good pat down. And now we want to get this cranked up. Medium high. Don't go too high because then it just spritzes all over the place. And give it a squirt of some neutral vegetable oil. This is sunflower. You could use canola, avocado, whatever you have, but give it a good splash of oil here in the bottom. Give it a little bit more heat here. And then I'm gonna get my nice boy here into the pot and start giving it a nice sear. As you can hear, it simmers a little bit, but it's not like crazy blowing because you want to give it a nice brown sear. You don't want to burn anything here. So I'm going to brown this on both sides. And that was just a couple of minutes. It already smells divine. Let's give this a flip. Oh, that looks good. See if I can show you. Look at that. That is just beautiful. And that's what you want, a good brown and good sear. I mean, obviously, we could throw this on the smoker, but we decided that we wanted to make a pulled pork recipe because not everybody has a pellet smoker hanging around on their veranda. So this is going to be made in our rondo pot or in your Dutch oven, but right here and then in the oven, and it's gonna be amazing. Both sides are brown and pretty. So now we're gonna go in with our braising liquid. As I mentioned yesterday, this might not be enough and we might add another beer, which I think we will actually, because I don't think this will be enough. You don't wanna submerge it, but you wanna have some liquid in here because as it cooks in the oven, it's gonna create that sauce we need for really juicy pulled pork. So in with another beer. And then we're gonna do a little cheat trick. We're just cheating a little bit. Because as I mentioned before, we're not using our smoker, which I normally would when I'm making pulled pork. I would put it on the smoker, either go all the way on the smoker and then pull it at the end, or like we did with the pulled beef, by the way, link down below, pulled beef, fantastic recipe, where we smoke for 3 hours and then we cook in the oven for 3 hours. But I'm gonna give it a little bit of liquid smoke, just so we get that barbecue flavor. Just a tad. That will give us a nice smoky flavor. Now we bring this up to a simmer. Now this is at a nice simmer, so we're gonna switch this off, put on the lid, and then we're gonna put this in our oven, middle rack, 150 degrees, slightly above what you would for slow cooking, because anyway, it's in a Dutch oven. And now we're gonna leave it there for at least 1.5 hours before we check in on it, but probably we'll need somewhere between 3 and 4 hours. If you have a crock pot, you could do it in a crock pot, then it will take you 45 minutes to an hour. It's almost 2 hours in, so let's sneak a peek on how this is doing. Ooh, it smells good. That smells really good, actually. Ooh, that's looking good, huh? 67, almost 70 degrees. We will give it another hour, hour and a half. Then I think we are there up in the mid-90s, but we will go more by feel than we will by temperature. Well, we gave it another couple of hours and I think we are there. Let's get it out. And again, this smell is fantastic. Well, I think we are there. I think we are there, but again, other hand, but no, it's the feel here. It's not so much the temperature, but we are at 95, but it has the right feel. It's not completely fall apart, which I don't like because then there's no texture left. So if you take it much, but no, this is perfectly pullable. Yeah, 96 there. So now we're gonna let this rest a little bit just to cool down so we can touch it and pull it. So 10 minutes, show you what we're gonna do. A little bit of rest on that one. And if you've been here before, you know the trick. Insulation gloves and nitrile gloves, then you can touch your meat. So let's get this out of here. Oh my. That looks good. Let's see how this pulls. Oh my God, this is like,
Oh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That just pulls excellently. Okay, I could have let it rest a little bit longer, even with the insulation gloves. This is warm. But okay, I was, in the smell of this, excited. I wanted to see it. So let me continue shredding this up, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the juices. Everything is nice and shredded. And this is not, this is not completely gone to pulp. It has a little bit of texture, like you want, so there is a little bit of bite left. If you want it really, really, really falling apart soft, you take it a little bit further, but I like there is some texture. But now we need to find out how much of our braising liquid we need to add here. We need quite some, so it's really juicy. But that's why I'm doing it like this, because if you just shred it in there, it might be too much, and you don't want it to be meat soup either, so. I'm thinking something around here. And then we give it a good mix. Yeah. This is the right level. That's what you want. This is juicy pulled pork. And you see, when you do this, then it falls to the right size with the sauce. It's just excellent. I mean, obviously, you would serve this as a pulled pork sandwich on some slider buns. By the way, there is a link down below. We just made slider buns in a couple of episodes ago. Fantastic slider buns and a super easy recipe for you to bake them yourself. But right now, I'm just curious, what is the flavor profile of this? So I'm going straight in with our pulled pork in the sauce, cilantro, the whole thing, beer. This is an interesting take on pulled pork. Very interesting, actually. That is so good. Juicy. Still has a little bit of texture on the meat that, as I said, I like. It's family friendly. If I made this only for me, I would definitely add some chili. But
Of course.
but that's my take on it.
Craziness.
But the flavor profile with the cilantro, the lime, the orange, that sort of tacos al pastor influence on this. Excellent pulled pork and a variation I think you should try.